On some of these videos that I'm doing here, I think I'm going to do something a little bit more like a documentary type of thing here, because it is really difficult to try and do the filming in the order that the projects need to get done at when I'm working at different stuff at different stages. So I'm going to just kind of do a documentary format and do shorter videos so that I can get those completed and posted, and then unfortunately you'll have to stitch it together when you get all done if you want to follow a specific thing, but it also kind of tracks my progress on this project here. Since I was more set up for doing tile than I was set up for doing tile videos, I went ahead and just got started on this project. Hopefully at some point I can show a better start to finish procedure for laying tile, but there are some good videos out there on it. My methods have been adapted from over decades of doing stuff like this, so they may be a little bit different than what your average tile layer is doing, but it gives you a general idea. So these spacers that I'm using on the floor here they're the old spacers for the laminate flooring that went up against the wall, and I just kept all those, and they work good for my floor spacers. You can use like the little rubber T-spacers to lay against the floor to get your space here, but these just work nicely because they're visible. Those little T-spacers tend to try to disappear up under there, and they're hard to get out, as are all spacers after your tiles dry, because you have the weight of the tile sitting on them and they tend to get a little bit stuck. So then I use 16 penny nails to give me the proper space. These are 3/16 of an inch. So rather than using a T-spacer here, I'm just using a nail, which tends to hold them on the wall in position. If you're using T-spacers, you can only get up about 3 rows before the weight of the tile gets to be too much. And then some of your T-spacers will start to collapse and fall over, and it can be a real nightmare. The other thing you can use is, I've used drywall screws also, and just placed a drywall screw to hold the tile up. And that works really well also. But since I had the 16 penny nails, I just went ahead and worked with them. The other thing with the 16s is that you can, like, if you're doing a whole wall and you start, you're pounding up here, and then pretty soon you got nails that are falling out down there. So unless you sink them in there fairly deeply, but then they're hard to get back out of there. What else? Okay, so where I cut around this old work box, and I actually kept this a little bit short so the box fit on top of the tile, which gives me this little bit of space right here that I need to be able to get the screw in for the cover plate. And then I may actually take a small tile drill bit and drill that hole out before I put this back together. This one's got enough clearance on it, but this one's pretty tight. So you can see here where that sticks through. Sometimes it's nice to have the box land on the edge of the tile, simply because you can make your cut here without just doing a blind cut into the tile. You don't have a little edge that breaks off. But other times it's nice to just actually have it land in the middle of the tile, because everything's nice and clean. So we're just going to work with this the way it is, and once I grout this up and that grout's dry, then it's going to hold that box in there solid. But anyway, just to give a quick update on this project, and yeah, we'll go from there. And if there's any other kind of projects you'd like to see or information that you want, let me know that in the comment section. I could try to do a video on that for you. Anything else I can think of? Yeah, and down in this corner, you got little bitty strips. You always want to put these I like to put these small pieces in first, and then cut the next tile, the bigger tile, to fit up against there, because they just have a little bit more control. And then sometimes in the back corners, you want to cut the tile so that your where you're looking at most visually is going to be covering the worst part of the crack, so that you're not looking directly at the grout line. But in this case, I am going to be looking at the grout line, but it is in behind here, and I've got more control over my gap here when I set that tile. I'm using black grout, which works awesome. It's like charcoal. It works awesome in a bathroom because it never stains or discolors because it's already dark. And to me, that is important because I don't want to have to come back and mess with it later. But I do seal all my grout. Usually I mix that with grout sealer, but I can cover that in another video too. This wall tile doesn't really require the most expensive mortar to put it up. You can use the fairly cheaper mortar, and with these 3/16 grout lines, the grout actually locks the tile into the wall also. And then I buttered the back of the tile and then put them up. So, but there's a whole lot more to cover if I'm gonna actually do a full coverage on tile. I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what is going on with this project, and I'm trying to decide how high I want to go with this row of tile, and then if I want to switch to, usually I'll put like a decorative, some kind of decorative row at about this eye level here above the outlets. So I've got some different colors of stuff that I can use. So I'm going to play around with that and see if I can figure out something I like.